We thought we were rescuing them, but they ended up saving us. Sometimes, the most powerful bonds begin in the most unexpected ways. In this special episode of Kindred Paws Tales, we share 4 heartwarming stories about unlikely companions who change lives forever. A girl protected by her loyal pack of German shepherds. A tiny toucan named Touki, rescued from a market, who filled a quiet home with joy and strange little sounds. A squirrel named Gibby, who refused to leave the people who loved him. And Itty, the raccoon who wasn't just a pet, but family. 4 different lives, 1 message. Love knows no species. Welcome to Kindred Paws Tales.
In a peaceful countryside home, a little girl named River grew up surrounded by love and the constant companionship of her 7 loyal German shepherds. Before she was born, her parents had raised the dogs as their only children. But everything changed when River entered their lives. From the very start, the dogs accepted River as one of their own. Wherever she went, they followed like devoted protectors. If River played in the yard, they ran beside her, and if she ventured into the water, they eagerly splashed in with her. Over time, River began to see herself as part of their pack, mimicking their playful behaviors and forming an inseparable bond with them. When River was born, her parents were cautious about introducing her to such large dogs. They carefully allowed the dogs to get used to her scent before bringing her home. To their surprise and relief, the dogs greeted River with gentle curiosity, wagging their tails and showering her with affection. From that moment on, they became her guardians and best friends. Among all her furry companions, one dog named Roman shared the deepest connection with River. He was her shadow, always watching over her with gentle devotion. If she wandered too far, Roman would nudge her back towards safety. He loved making her laugh, licking her face, and snuggling close whenever she needed comfort. As the years passed, River and Roman's bond only grew stronger. Whether she was building castles in the sandbox, riding her bike down the dirt path, or curling up with a book in the sunlit living room, Roman was never far away. Even when River was feeling under the weather, Roman would stay by her side, his warm body curled up next to her, as if assuring her that she would never be alone.
High five. River, high five. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay.
The other dogs each had their own unique personalities, and River loved them dearly. Some were playful and mischievous, always eager for a game of chase, while others were gentle and affectionate, preferring quiet moments by her side. They all had one thing in common: an unwavering love for their little human sister. As River got older, she took on the responsibility of helping care for her furry family. She brushed their thick coats, filled their water bowls, and even helped with their training. She learned patience, kindness, and the importance of understanding their needs. In return, the dogs provided her with endless love, laughter, and lessons about loyalty and compassion. Some people worried about her safety around such big dogs, but her parents always supervised their interactions and saw firsthand the love and care the dogs had for her. They knew that as long as River was with her German shepherds, she was in the safest place she could be. Their home was filled with warmth, laughter, and the beautiful harmony between a child and her loyal protectors. The bond between River and her dogs was something truly special, an unbreakable friendship that would last a lifetime. As the sun set each evening, River and her dogs would sit together on the porch, watching the golden hues fade into twilight. The love between them was something magical, a connection built on trust, companionship, and countless shared memories. Watching River grow up with her fluffy companions brought immeasurable joy to her family. Their story was a reminder that love, trust, and kindness create the most extraordinary connections between humans and animals. And as long as River had her dogs by her side, she would always know the meaning of true friendship. This is the story of Touki, a toucan who changed a family's life, bringing joy and strange sounds you've never heard. We never imagined having such an unusual pet, but Touki's arrival changed our lives in ways we could have never predicted. His story began with a chance encounter, one that transformed our home, filling it with joy, laughter, and the most unexpected sounds. An unexpected discovery at the market. One afternoon, we decided to visit the local market. We had no intention of bringing home a pet. We simply wanted to browse the stalls and spend some time admiring the animals. However, as we strolled through the marketplace, we noticed a section covered with old, tattered blankets. Beneath them were several cages, barely illuminated by the dim light filtering through gaps in the fabric. As we peered inside, our hearts sank. The cages were cramped and dirty, and the birds inside looked weak and neglected. Among them was a small toucan, trembling and pressed into the corner of his enclosure. His once vibrant beak was covered in dark spots, and his body bore the signs of malnourishment. A rash covered his delicate feathers. We didn't know what had happened to him, but we knew one thing for sure: he needed help. Without hesitation, we decided to take him home and give him a second chance at life. A new beginning for Touki. When we first brought Touki home, he was fragile and wary. His beak, which should have been strong and radiant, appeared dull and heavy. He barely moved, and it was clear he had little strength left. Determined to give him the care he needed, we immediately began researching how to properly look after a toucan. We learned that toucans require a specialized diet, ample sunlight, and plenty of space to fly and explore. We set up a comfortable area for him in our home, ensuring he had access to natural light. We provided him with nutritious food, hoping it would help him regain his strength. At first, he remained cautious, staying in one place and avoiding contact. However, over time, he began to show signs of improvement. Each morning, as soon as I woke up, I would find Touki perched on the windowsill, soaking in the sunlight. The warmth seemed to energize him, and he slowly started to gain confidence. He became more active, fluttering around the house, curiously inspecting his new environment. Every day, he grew stronger, and before we knew it, he was exploring every corner of our home with the excitement of a child discovering the world for the first time. Touki, the mischievous companion. As Touki's health improved, so did his personality. He was no longer the weak, frightened bird we had brought home. He had transformed into a lively, mischievous companion. His curiosity knew no bounds, and he was constantly on the move, hopping from furniture to countertops, always looking for something new to inspect. If I was holding something in my hands, whether it was a spoon, a pen, or even my phone, he would try to snatch it away with his beak, eager to play.
Excuse me, are you plastic wrapped? Sir. What are you doing? It's a little tight in there. Chicken? Sir. Yeah, I know. You like your little forts.
Touki adored being the center of attention. No matter what we were doing, cooking, cleaning, or simply relaxing, he wanted to be part of it. He would follow us from room to room, making sure he wasn't missing out on any excitement. If someone left the house without him realizing it, he would let out an ear-piercing screech, demanding answers as to where they had gone. But the most surprising moment came when we discovered his unique way of expressing affection. One day, as we were gently stroking his feathers, we heard an unusual sound. At first, we thought we had imagined it, but then we realized Touki was purring. Just like a cat, he produced a soft, soothing hum that melted our hearts. His body relaxed completely, his beak grew heavier, and he surrendered to the comforting sensation. It was a clear sign of trust, and in that moment, we knew how much he appreciated the love and care we had given him.
Fort time. You're supposed to be over the plastic, not under the plastic. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works. I know you look so cute.
The challenges and joys of having a toucan. Owning a toucan is a tremendous responsibility, and like common pets, they require constant attention, a proper environment, and a diet that mimics what they would eat in the wild. Touki absolutely hates being alone and always seeks companionship, making it necessary for us to dedicate a lot of time to him. Despite the challenges, we have never regretted our decision to bring him into our lives. Every single day with Touki is an adventure. His intelligence, playfulness, and affectionate nature have made our home livelier and warmer. He has a way of communicating with us through different sounds, each one reflecting his mood and desires. Sometimes he chirps excitedly when he's happy. Other times he lets out a sharp squawk if he wants attention. We have come to understand his language, just as he has come to understand our love. Looking back, it's incredible to think how a simple trip to the market led us to such a wonderful companion. Touki has not only become a beloved member of our family, but he has also taught us the value of compassion and the joy of caring for another living being. If you enjoyed Touki's story, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming and inspiring stories. And if you're considering adopting an exotic pet, I strongly encourage you to consult professionals and thoroughly research their care requirements. Only with proper knowledge and dedication can we ensure that these amazing creatures live the happy, healthy lives they deserve.
There was a time when squirrels were nothing more to me than quick, darting shadows in the trees. Just another part of nature that I never gave much thought to. That all changed the day I met Gibby. He wasn't just any squirrel. He was a miracle, an unexpected blessing that turned my world upside down in the most beautiful way. Gibby's journey to me was not an easy one. He had originally been taken in by someone who thought they could raise him as a pet, but they soon realized that squirrels are not like cats or dogs. They don't just need food and shelter. They require someone who understands their wild nature, someone who respects the instincts that drive them. Unable to provide him with the life he truly needed, his original owner made the difficult decision to take him to a wildlife rehabilitation center, and that's where our paths first crossed. When I arrived at the center, I was warned to be careful. Squirrels can be mean, they told me. They bite, they scratch. But the moment I opened Gibby's enclosure, something incredible happened. He didn't lash out. Instead, he looked up at me with curious eyes and reached out his tiny paw as if to say, "I trust you." It was an instant connection, one that felt almost magical, something I couldn't explain even if I tried. That day, several squirrels were being released back into the wild. One of them, a lively little creature named Mel, took off without hesitation, disappearing into the trees with a joyful leap. But Gibby, he clung to my leg, refusing to go. Mel called out as if to encourage him, but he just looked at me as if answering, "I'm staying."
What do you think, babe? What do you think? Are you so excited? Yeah.
I tried again and again to release him, hoping he would follow his instincts, but he always found his way back to me. At night, I would hear his tiny cries from the branches above, a lonely, vulnerable sound that tugged at my heart. One morning, I discovered him outside my glass door, his little body covered in fresh wounds, claw marks perfectly spaced, signs of an attack he had barely survived. That was the moment I knew he wasn't meant to be out there. He didn't have the skills to survive in the wild. Gibby needed a home.
Perfect spot.
From that day on, my home became his, and he made it clear he had no intention of ever leaving. If I left the door open, he wouldn't even glance outside. He had chosen me just as much as I had chosen him.
You want to finish this one? Here. Hey then. Nothing like being polite about ripping it out of my hands.
Gibby quickly took over the house, making sure I knew who was really in charge. If I wasn't paying him enough attention, he would casually knock things off the table, his mischievous eyes watching for my reaction. But if I played with him, if I gave him the love he craved, he would spend hours by my side, his energy boundless, his joy infectious. One of his favorite things in the world is when I take a small brush and run it gently over his tiny body. He melts into my hands, stretching out as if he's a little person being pampered at a spa. And water? Oh no, he refuses to drink from a bowl like a regular pet. He'll only drink from my glass, and if it happens to be sweet tea, well, that's pure bliss for him. He isn't just my companion, he's a part of the family. Every day he plays tag with my rabbit, Mosley, racing around the house in a game that never seems to end. With my bearded dragon, Sheldon, he shares his food, always making sure his reptilian friend gets a taste of whatever delicious treat he's found. And when they're not eating, they sit together by the window, staring out as if contemplating the world beyond, sharing thoughts only they understand.
Yeah, guilty. Okay, do you want me to hold it? I can hold it for later if you want. Totally up to you. Okay. Yep, I will hold on to it for later. Thank you.
At night, the wild, playful energy fades, and Gibby becomes the gentlest soul. He curls up on my lap, his tiny paws resting on my hand as I stroke his soft fur. If I brush his belly, he stretches out in bliss, slowly moving his paws in contentment until he drifts off to sleep. Sometimes, I gently tug on his whiskers just to watch his little nose twitch. These quiet moments of trust touch me in ways I can't put into words. I used to think of squirrels as nothing more than pesky little creatures, darting up trees and stealing birdseed. But Gibby changed everything. He showed me that they are intelligent, affectionate, and full of personality. He's become my everything, a companion I never expected but now can't imagine my life without. So, if you ever see a squirrel chattering away in a tree, take a moment to really look at them. You might just see what I see now, something extraordinary. And if you're ever thinking about getting an exotic pet, remember, it's not just about love, it's about understanding. Make sure you do your research, reach out to professionals, and ensure that you can provide them with the life they truly deserve. Because every creature, no matter how small, deserves a home where they are loved, safe, and free to be themselves. Gibby found his home with me, and in doing so, he gave me something priceless in return, a love and connection that will stay with me forever. In the heart of our family's journey, there is an unexpected hero, a wild raccoon named Itty, whose spirit of adventure and boundless affection have forever changed our lives. She is not just an animal we care for, she is family. Her story is one of resilience, love, and the remarkable bond between humans and the wild. It all began with a fateful post on Facebook. A pest control company had removed a mother raccoon from her home, leaving behind 5 helpless cubs. When we heard their story, we knew we couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Our hearts ached for them, and we decided to take action. Among those tiny creatures was Itty, just 5 days old, a fragile, helpless ball of fur that fit in the palm of our hands. She resembled a newborn kitten, her eyes still closed, unaware of the vast world she had been thrust into. From that moment on, we knew her life was in our hands.
Give him a kiss.
Next.
He'll be able to play soon.
Caring for a baby raccoon was no small feat. The first few months were an endless cycle of bottle feeding every few hours, changing tiny diapers, and ensuring she remained warm and safe. The exhaustion was real, but somehow, Itty made everything feel effortless. She adapted quickly to our household rhythm, as if she had always been meant to be part of our family. With 5 children in our home, she was never short on love. Each child took turns feeding her, rocking her to sleep, and playing with her. To them, she was a little sister, an unusual one, but a sister nonetheless. As Itty grew, so did her playful mischief. She had a knack for sneaking into the kids' rooms, climbing onto their beds, and playfully tossing around their toys. While they sometimes groaned at the mess she made, their love for her never wavered. She was the best surprise our family had ever received.
What did he get into?
From the very start, it was clear that Itty was no ordinary raccoon. She was a fascinating mix of cat and dog, graceful yet playful, independent yet fiercely loyal. She loved to climb, leaping onto curtains and finding high perches to survey the world. At the same time, she would follow us everywhere, her tiny paws pattering behind us like a devoted pup. Whether we were in the kitchen, the living room, or outside in the yard, Itty was never far behind, always seeking connection and companionship. As she grew older, her wild instincts began to emerge. She craved adventure, and we embraced it wholeheartedly. We took her to the river, where she would spend hours exploring the water, digging in the sand, and chasing tiny fish and tadpoles with childlike wonder. She was endlessly curious, always sniffing the air, turning over rocks, and searching for hidden treasures. One of our most unforgettable adventures was a trip to Arkansas to hunt for crystals. As we sifted through the dirt, Itty joined in, gleefully digging with her tiny paws. She was in her element, a creature of nature, fully alive in the moment. Seeing her so happy filled our hearts with warmth. We had given her not just a home, but a life full of love and discovery. But beyond her playful and adventurous nature, Itty had a deeply affectionate side. She adored being close to us, always curling up next to us on the couch, pressing her face near ours and sniffing softly as if memorizing our scent. Her quiet, contented presence was a constant reminder of the deep bond we had formed. Every moment with her was precious, each cuddle a silent declaration of trust and love. Yet we never forgot that Itty was a creature of the wild. We never caged her or forced her to stay. She was free to come and go as she pleased. We knew that one day she might choose to leave, to return to the world that was her birthright. The thought of it ached in our hearts, but we also understood that true love means giving the ones we cherish the freedom to be themselves. And that is the beauty of our relationship with Itty. She chooses us every day. She doesn't have to stay, yet she does, and that makes her presence all the more meaningful. Anyone who visits our home is immediately captivated by Itty. She's a bundle of energy, a source of joy, a little ray of light that makes every day brighter. Our lives would not be the same without her, and for as long as she is with us, we will cherish every second, respecting her choices and celebrating her wild, wonderful spirit. If you found Itty's story touching, we invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming and inspiring stories. And if you ever consider adopting an exotic animal, please seek professional advice and do thorough research to ensure that your new companion has the happy, healthy life they deserve. Because every creature, no matter how wild, deserves to be loved in the way they need most.
Stop.
How does he know?